Straight up, we don't play with kafir. We don't play with kuffar.
But we're happy to live in their countries. We're happy to beg for welfare payments. Shameless cretins. Shameless. And they're not going to back off. You need to say, sorry, party's over. Time to go back to your shitholes. America, you have a problem. We've seen how the Brits handed over their country like it's charity to the Islamists, to Muslims, but they're coming for you as well. Have a look at this.
Right now, in 2025, 4.5 million Muslims live in the United States. That's already 1 in every 70 people. They're young, half under 35, and having kids at twice the national rate. There are over 4,000 worship centers built or converted in a single generation, up 43% since 2020. Drive through Michigan, New York, Texas, Florida. New homes and towers keep rising. Research centers project that by 2050, we'll hit 8 million Muslims, overtaking Jews as the second biggest faith in America. In some cities, that's already happening today. Beneath this growth lies deep resentment. Many Muslims view Christians as infidels, corrupted by secular
Not many, all of them.
freedoms, rejecting American ideals like individualism, free speech, and equality for women. Their teachings often portray our way of life as immoral, fueling calls to impose Sharia over democracy, clashing with the Christian values that built this nation. Christianity is still 70%, but our churches are growing and closing while their families grow and their buildings multiply. This is math, and the numbers don't care what we wish was true.
Numbers don't care, guys. And it's not a secret anymore. They really, really haven't made any effort to hide their contempt and hatred for the American way of life. This is how they speak openly.
America is the cancer. America, the American government, secularism, democracy, capitalism, these are cancers that have spread their illness all over the world. In America and in the Middle East. In America over here, people have the freedom to, again, like I said before, commit zina, do all this fahisha, but when you speak up, it's a problem. Non-Muslims are tired of this cancer. They're tired of the American government. They're tired of democracy. They want to see a new way of life. And as Muslims, we have to understand.
Really? Are you tired of your way of life? Are you tired of the principles that the founding fathers built the United States on? Are you tired of that? Do you want to replace that with Sharia? This clown believes so. And he's not alone, I'm sorry to say. The days of calling these people a fringe group of extremists are over. Have a listen to Tommy Robinson. He just gave an interview. What is a tiny fringe group of extremists? Have a listen.
99% of Afghanis want Sharia law.
99% of Afghanis, whether they helped America or not, because America then felt that, oh, you know, we need to bring them in. There was a very nice Jake Gyllenhaal movie. And I'm sure there were some brilliant cases. You can be a Muslim and a good person, but at the same time, you can hate the American way of life and harbor dreams of establishing Sharia in America, even though you helped America against the Taliban. All of these things can happen. They're not mutually exclusive. 99% of Afghans want Sharia law, whether they helped America and the allies against the Taliban or not.
99%. That's Pew research. Yeah. 89% of Pakistanis want Sharia law.
And they also hate America.
77% of Palestinians want Sharia law. 71% of Nigerians want Sharia law. Yeah? The majority of Muslims want Sharia law. If you've got 100 Afghanis coming into America, Joe Biden brought in hundreds of thousands, but out of every 100, 99 of them want Sharia law. They don't leave that at the border. They don't think, well, now we're in America, let's just ignore all of our beliefs. They bring it with them. Yeah. 89% of those Afghanis who want Sharia law believe smashing a woman in the head with a rock and burying her in the ground is fair game. This isn't my opinion. This is their opinion.
This is a belief.
You've brought that into your country like we have. That's why we have 100 Sharia law courts in Britain. That's why we have 2 million British Muslims that want Sharia law. That's why we have totally segregated and non-assimilation communities.
So some people might say, oh, hang on, is he making it up? No. Now, what if I told you that there is a better way of making money? Just this year, something interesting happened. While everyone was busy arguing about energy transitions and climate targets, the real world quietly reminded us how things actually work. Global infrastructure is booming. Military spending is surging. Entire regions are building at a pace we haven't seen in decades. And all of it depends on one thing: steel. Around 1.9 billion tons of steel are produced every year, and every single ton requires metallurgical coal. Not as a fuel you can swap out, but as a chemical input with no large-scale replacement. No coal means no steel. No steel means no warships, no fighter jets, no infrastructure, no modern defense systems. That's not ideology. That's physics. In fact, the US government recently declared a national emergency to expand coal supply chains, recognizing just how critical this material has become. Which brings us to Forge Resources, trading as FRG on the CSE and FRGGF on the OTC. Forge is positioning itself right in the middle of the supply crunch. Their flagship asset, the La Estrella project in Colombia, isn't some speculative idea. It's fully permitted and actively advancing, sitting directly inside a supply chain the world is scrambling to secure. And Colombia itself is emerging as a key global supplier of metallurgical coal with strong trade alignment with the United States and growing strategic importance. Meanwhile, prices are telling the same story. Met coal has pushed toward $240 per ton in 2026. That's not a random spike. That's the market reacting to a structural shortage. Here's the reality most people miss. The biggest driver right now isn't demand, it's the lack of new supply. And when supply gets tight in something this critical, the companies positioned early tend to benefit the most. That's the space Forge Resource is operating in. If you want to understand where steel, energy security, and global defense trends are heading, it's worth taking a closer look. Check out the link in the description to learn more about Forge Resources and whatever they're building. Now let's get back to the video. Look at this. The survey was done back in 2013. I know it's a little bit old, but I don't think it would have changed much. Favor or oppose making Sharia the law of the land? Doesn't matter where you are. 99% of Afghans want Sharia to be the law of the land. 84% of Pakistanis, I think Tommy said 89%, that's okay. 82% of Bangladeshis, 91% of Iraqis, 89% of Palestinians, 83 Moroccans. Lebanon, I wonder why that is. Because they have lived alongside Christians for a very long time, maybe that's why, and they've seen a lot of civil war. And look at sub-Saharan Africa. Oh my God, where's Somalia? What's this Somalia? So only those countries near Russia and those Europeans. Look at that, no surprise. Albania, only 12%. Why? Because of their proximity to Europe, to a freer world. And Turkey, only 12%. Although it might have gone up because, you know, Erdogan has hurt Turkey a lot. Where is Somalia? Well, I guess Somalis were not allowed to take part in this survey. Yeah, well, I wouldn't be surprised if it'd be very high. It'd be around 90-95%. And if you want to see what they say openly, I played you one video. I've got a lot of these videos that I've played over the years of Muslim leaders boastfully, proudly wishing death, threats to conquer. Look at this.
They insult Allah, saying that he has a son.
In Christians, you're not allowed to hold your belief. They view that as an insult, as blasphemy. And there's only one punishment for blasphemy: death.
Very first problem I see in America, Christianity.
You're in a freaking Christian country. Why do we allow them this free speech? Why?
Do not take the Jews and Christians as your close friends. This is a command from Allah.
Let us take these lessons and teach it to our children. Teach them to hate everything about kufr.
Drawing the boundaries when dealing with the enemy.
Look at this fatso.
When dealing with the disbeliever.
He's the enemy of food. He wants to finish all food from the world by eating it.
They overtake the disbelievers. يجاهدون في سبيل الله ولا يخافون لومة لائم. They fight in the path of Allah and they do not fear the headlines.
The question they raise is, why do Muslims hate us? Why are Muslims full of hate against the West or Christianity or Judaism or anything. The Quran tells us the truth.
You see, he didn't say, no, we don't hate you. But these lipstick Muslims like Mehdi Hassan and all these hypocrites, all these liars, they tell you, no, it's just a lie. Are they keeping these views to themselves? No, they're addressing to other Muslims. And he didn't correct. He didn't say, no, we don't hate you. He said, yeah, well, the Quran tells us why we should hate you.
We do not resemble the non-Muslims, Jews, Christians, or anybody else. But you know what's the worst thing?
Whenever I see a black Muslim convert, oh my God. They hate America for the transatlantic slave trade. And fair enough. Nobody can justify that. But it was the Muslims who exploited Africans for over 1,000 years. The African slave trade of Muslims was 10 times worse than the transatlantic slave trade. Have you ever wondered why there are not that many sub-Saharan Africans in the Middle East? Because they weren't even allowed to reproduce. Their penises were cut. And these people simp for Islam.
Is to resemble someone who's your enemy.
And in return, Abraham Lincoln went to civil war to end slavery. The Brits ended slavery before them in the 1830s.
Crusaders, the Wasp, they failed.
The West succeeded so much that these people beg to be a part of the West. Anyway, so why do they hate you? Do you want to know why they hate you? That guy who didn't tell us, this is why they hate you.
Prophet ﷺ said, and do not befriend anyone except a good believer, and do not share your food with anyone except a pious person. So we don't have this wala and this friendship with kuffar. We don't hang out with kuffar.
No.
You know, let's go down and play some pool, Bob. You know, let's play some Xbox together. You're my friend.
Mm-hmm.
There's no wala with the kuffar. You know, I remember Abu Yazid is saying a while back, he's saying they were playing football and some kafir wanted to play with them. Straight up, we don't play with kafir. We don't play with kuffar.
But we're happy to live in their countries. We're happy to beg for welfare payments. Shameless cretins. Shameless. And they're not going to back off. You need to say, sorry, party's over. Time to go back to your shitholes.
Yeah, there's no concept we hang out with kafir. That is complete opposite of having Baraa towards them. How are you going to have Baraa towards them? You hang out and you play and you chit-chat and you gossip and you socialize. And sadly, this is one of the problems we have. We see many Muslims, especially amongst the youth, you see them hanging around with kuffar. Hanging around with kuffar all the time. And it ends up rubbing off on them. It ends up corrupting their wala and bara, and that's what will happen. It will end up destroying this wala and bara. How can you have the animosity and hatred and that disassociation from them? If you hang out together.
If you start hanging out with them, how can you have hatred for them? Yeah, because God forbid you'll be impressed by their good nature. My biggest eye-opening moment was, like, I never really hated the West, but of course there was no indoctrination per se. My family was pretty liberal. But still, when you grow up in a society where you believe that you're in the right, you're the best one, then you hold certain biases. I guess every community does. But when I moved to Australia, the first thing I noticed, I was like, wow, how clean is this country? I remember the first time when I saw the skyline of Melbourne, I was like, oh my goodness, look at these buildings. I just wanted to touch them. Everything was so clean. The sky was so crystal clear. And my city, Lahore, was so dirty. It was just so dirty and disgusting. I was like, wow. And then they tell us Muslims were the clean ones. Bugger off. These are the people. Look at them. And every Aussie I ran into smiled. They just smile at you. Even if it's a fake smile, you walk past someone, you just give someone a fake smile. So how nice are these people? Straight away, on the very first day, I had, not that I ever had any hatred for them, but even if I held any prejudices, they were just gone. And I think that's why I was always destined to be who I am. Stand up for people who are good. And I can assure you, Westerners are the best people on earth. They're the only people on earth who opened up their borders for people from all over the world, even those who hate them. Even now, like they just tell you, they live in your countries and they tell you that they hate you.
It is from our religion that we have to hate them for the sake of Allah. We love what Allah loves, and on the opposite of that, we hate what Allah hates.
Let's not beat around the bush. We don't love each other. We're not on the same page. We are not friends. Does that make sense? We are enemies.
Very simple. No integration, no multiculturalism, no diversity, no tolerance. I got my own deen, you got your own deen. You got your democracy, we got our own sharia. You got your own free mixing, we got our own nikah. Own cheating within the marketplace, your own credit cards. We got our own economic system. We got our own foreign policy. We got our own deen.
They have no shame. But the Westerners are the only people, oh, it's okay. No, you know what? I don't know. I don't know about this. You know, some people associate that with Christianity, turn the other cheek, be kind to your enemy. Maybe there's a bit of a Muslim left in me. Don't be like that. If you hate the West, if you hate the Western way of life, F off. Seriously, F off. It's either that or they'll take over. There's no middle ground in this. There is no middle ground in this. Get it through your heads, my dear Americans. Because Europe is falling. It really depresses me when I truly understand the scope of it. That how bad is it? That some parts of the UK, London was the crown jewel of Western civilization. And we have Piers Morgan who said, no, there's nothing wrong with it. Everything's fine. I don't know what you guys are talking about. Anyway, sorry, I just keep ranting. Yeah, don't take it easy, guys. Protect your way of life. Fight for your way of life. Don't apologize. And that's what we discuss. I have created a Telegram group. The link is in the description. Yeah, join that group. We're all Western patriots. Doesn't matter where you're from. If you are a Western patriot, join that group and meet like-minded people.